What's up, everybody? It is Thursday, June 23rd, around 11 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to do a Brexit reaction video here, so this is a little bit different. But it looks like Brexit is here, so there's still quite a bit of votes to count, but it looks like Brexit is pulling away from it, even if Brexit doesn't win, which it looks like it will. So it looks like Britain has voted to leave the European Union, but even if it doesn't win, it's so stinking close that it has significantly shaken the markets and in either result. However, again, it looks very much like that Britain is going to leave the European Union. What we're seeing is again, this is the late night markets, so it'll be interesting to see where we open tomorrow on Friday. But all the S&P 500, the Dow, the Nasdaq, Russell, obviously the FTSE, the DAX, the European markets, the euro, the pound especially, pretty much all the currencies except for the Japanese yen and the US dollar are down. The dollar is up very significantly, the yen is up significantly, gold is up significantly. Gold has not gone off to the races as of yet, but it has regained, I believe it's at the highs. So I think that would translate to around 125 in the GLD. So oil is down, not surprisingly, because along with the markets and the economic conditions. So again, like as a first reaction, what's my processing or my thought process on how this continues? Well, my first thought is that this brings a lot of fear in the market because it's unknown and because this is kind of a historic vote. It wasn't expected. In fact, I think the idea of a stay was actually priced into the market, especially here on Thursday when we saw the S&P climb significantly here Thursday before the votes even. Before polls even closed. So I think there was a preconceived notion that stay was going to happen, or remain was going to happen, and that's not the case. So there's definitely going to be a lot of volatility ahead. I think that's very clear. What I think isn't clear is what exactly will happen. So just because the referendum result is leave doesn't mean there isn't some kind of negotiation process, some kind of orderly, elongated process that results in some kind of compromise. So it'll be interesting to see how things pan out versus what appears to be clearly a leave vote. The other thing I would think is that right now money is flowing into safe havens, and that is looking like gold and precious metals and the US dollar, the Japanese yen. I think what I think is interesting is that the US dollar and the Japanese yen, speaking on the dollar terms, what I would expect, my first reaction is to think that Janet Yellen and some of the other Fed officials will all of a sudden paint a very accommodating picture, especially as the market falls, and in my opinion will probably continue to fall at this point. I think when the initial fear that's going on right now, we're seeing a sell-off off of fear and the unexpected, but I think if that translates into the odds of a recession significantly rising, then we will see the market continue to fall, go down to this 1800 even on the S&P 500. And if that's the case, I think even before that case, I think within the next few days and weeks, we'll see Janet Yellen and the rest of the Fed and the FOMC and be suddenly speak in more accommodative terms, talk about the possibility of no rate hikes, possibly even talking about the possibility of going back to zero, or going back. I doubt they would entertain the idea of more quantitative easing in the short term, but they could definitely entertain the idea of putting the rate back from 20 back to a zero or completely flat. And so with that speech, I would expect the US dollar to actually come more in line and to kind of get devalued from this safe haven idea that it is right now. This whole safe haven concept where money is flowing into the US dollar, I think they're going to want to curb that, and so I think that will go away and gold will actually gain more over the next few weeks, possibly months. I would first reaction, I would say probably months. And I think that more they will try to stabilize and create some kind of equilibrium in the currency markets, which would mean both the Japanese yen and the US dollar will get some work done as far as the policy officials and so forth, and trying to lean towards a more dovish tone and devalue the dollar and the yen from where it is now, try to create more stability, and stop the bleeding as far as money flowing out of Europe and the European currencies and into the dollar and the yen currency. So with that being said, I think gold has higher to go even from here. It'll be interesting to see where it opens tomorrow morning. In the market, it'll just be interesting to see what the market does. I would expect there to be more selling, honestly. More than anything, I expect volatility. It'll be interesting to see if this concept of, well, there's, they voted leave, but there's a lot more to go. This will be a process, a negotiation. If you see some kind of idea that, this isn't 100% Britain going away, but there will be some orderly process, etc., etc. There won't be some talk of that, and also to try to stop the panic or this shock that certainly is hitting the market right now, and the reaction. It'll be interesting to see how long this selling continues. If it continues into the morning, if we don't see some dip buying, if we don't see some buying in the market here on Friday. So it's an interesting time to be alive, and it's been it looks like it's a historic vote for Brexit, and it really shows the discontent that's going on, not just here in the United States, but in Europe as well, and in Britain. So with that being said, again, this was obviously you always wish that you could be on the right side of these large moves, but in the long run, I've discovered that it's better to step to the side, which is what I've kind of been talking about, and why I haven't posted any trades this week. And yeah, it's always good to be able to come back tomorrow with money to trade. You never want to put everything on the table, and especially with very large volatility moves or votes, things of this nature. You want to make sure that you understand your risk, and you limit that risk to what's acceptable for you, what you feel like you can deal with on either side of the coin. So that's a lesson that you'll learn again and again until you've learned it. With that being said, it's an exciting time. There should be ample time, ways to make money in this current market. Things will be moving much faster, but if you've got money, dry powder, money to put in, I think my inclination is investing in gold on the longer term, over the 6-month horizon. So it's exciting, and what a historic vote. With all that being said, hey, God bless, good luck, and great trading.